Hey nerds, this is how you close an unidentified wormhole, or a drifter hole, as sometimes they are called. The way to find them is systems with Jove observatory beacons. The unidentified wormhole will spawn at another beacon in the system. You need a battleship with a micro jump drive, a prop mod, a cloak, a Higgs anchor, and your launcher with probes in case you happen to get stuck. The rest of the fit on the battleship doesn't really matter. I like to use bulkheads, a damage control, heavy newts, and a burst jammer, just in case I get tackled. When you go into the system and you warp to the beacon, that puts you at 100 off the wormhole. When you arrive, cloak. Make sure that there are no drifters on grid with you. If there are, just remain cloaked until they enter the wormhole or warp away. Yes, now that I've arrived at the hole, I'm going to cloak. This particular fit makes the battleship slightly too large for the hole. These have a different mass than normal large wormholes. With the Navy issue, I'm a little heavy, so if I go in and out with no prop mod, so cold, then I can fit and the hole closes. You can also do it with the slightly smaller ship, the regular Tempest or a regular Megathron, and then you'd have to use the in cold out hot method. I prefer this way just because of the extra tank on the ship in case I do get tackled. So before you warp, you want to check show info on the wormhole to make sure that it's not already reduced or critical. This wormhole has not had its stability reduced. It is not end of life. So I'm going to save the location just in case I have to warp off. The drifters are not here, so I'm going to decloak and approach the hole. When I'm correctly in line with the hole, I'm going to use my micro jump drive and jump towards the hole. I'll be slightly behind it when I land. The reason for this is if the drifters show up between now and when my jump actually happens, I'm still a far enough distance away to cloak again. So burning away so that you jump directly on the hole is dangerous. So now I've used my micro jump. I'm 8,000 off. I'm going to use my prop mod and approach the hole. When I get within 5,000, I will turn my prop mod off and enter the wormhole. Okay, I'm entering the wormhole, and once inside, I will hold my cloak, mark the hole, if there were drifters inside, I would continue to hold my cloak until they were gone. There are no drifters in here, so once I mark the hole, I'm going to reapproach and jump back through. Are they still out there? Okay, because I have drifters outside the hole, I'm cloaked inside. Once they enter, I will jump through. Did they jump in? See, it's so weird because they don't show up in here. Okay, now that I'm out of the hole for the first pass, I'm polarized, which means I cannot use the wormhole again for 2 minutes. So I will stay cloaked until the polarization timer completes. Hostile entities use these wormhole systems for travel to come to our region and bring fleets for fights, bring fleets to attack oracles. When you go into a drifter wormhole, there are about 50 connections inside that lead to all other places, and other drifter wormholes are connected to them. So if they go inside their drifter beacon, they can just scan around the holes that are in there until they find an appropriate place to come out and kill our stuff. So normally these wouldn't really be a problem, but it's broken right now and they're spawning at an alarming rate. So it's much easier for people to travel around using this system right now, especially people who have done it historically and are very good at it. Initiative has always used drifter holes. Goons and Tests are known to use them. They are using them quite a bit more frequently now than they have in the past. But for Initiative, this is like Christmas. They've been given a superhighway. Okay, my timer's finished. I'm going to enter the wormhole again. Sometimes, yes. A fleet FC is not going to try and bring a fleet through a wormhole that's critically reduced, because chances are half of their fleet will get trapped on one side and half will get trapped on the other, and the hole will close. Leaving it that way means that an FC is not going to use it, but at the same time, it's in a known location, and we don't have to worry about another one spawning in its place. That's what. Closing them completely. So for a normal wormhole that rolls out, closing them completely is perfectly fine. And even for these, if they happen to close, that's okay, because they're easy to track down. We know the systems they're going to be in will always be the systems with the Jove Observatory beacon, which is those are always in the same system, so we can just keep track of where they are. Sometimes even a critical one of these, an FC might try and sneak bombers through it. If they're running around in bombers, they are very small. Bombers are small, so you can get quite a lot of them through the hole, and if they're not worried about going back through it to go home, they may still try and bring them through. It's really important to note that drifter battleships are very dangerous. They can one-shot you. Even in a tanky battleship. So the best course of action, if they appear on grid with you, is just to cloak up and sit very still, stop your ship until they run away. Okay, so this wormhole is now collapsed and it's gone. And that's it, all done.